It appears that no matter how much Trump tries to control the stage, coming out before the event really starts, delayed broadcasts, even media instructions, Trump can't seem to escape hearing what most Americans are feeling at the moment. And it sounds something like this.
Donald Trump just got loudly booed and berated in Washington, D.C. He went to a restaurant called Joe's Seafood and brought the media to what was announced as an undisclosed location. It turned out to be Joe's Seafood, which is just about a block or so from the White House, so that Donald Trump can show that he was leaving the White House to see what the restaurants look like. Well, when he showed up inside the restaurant, there were people booing him. They were calling him the modern day Hitler. Watch what happens as Donald Trump walks inside that restaurant, Joe's Seafood. Play this clip. Then, before Donald Trump got into the restaurant, he was being booed outside by people in Washington, D.C. who detest Trump's military occupation of their beloved city. Here, play this clip.
Between last week's US Open to his dinner in D.C. and then on to Yankee Stadium, the crowd's displeasure, to say the least, echoed louder than any attempt to spin it. At the 2025 US Open men's final, Trump arrived in the Rolex box and was shown on the stadium's big screens. He stood for the national anthem, tried to wave, and, was met with a wave of boos in return. Broadcasters were reportedly asked to censor mean-spirited reactions, but the mood was obvious anyway, and videos emerged from the event that reiterated that. Even with the TV cameras instructed to minimize crowd response, the disapproval rang clear.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Seth Meyers. It's late night. We hope you're doing well. And now, if you don't mind, we're going to get to the news. President Trump yesterday attended the U.S. Open and got a real New York welcome. Damn, that's the worst anyone's been booed in Queens since... Okay, actually, it happens a lot. It happens a lot. That was a pretty normal day. That's right. President Trump attended the U.S. Open men's finals. Apparently, he became very interested when he found out that in tennis, love means nothing. That's right. President Trump attended the U.S. Open men's tennis finals and sat in a Rolex-funded luxury box, though in typical Trump fashion, I think he fell for a knockoff. Got the tickets in Times Square. President Trump was set to speak today at the Museum of the Bible, after which it will be renamed the Museum of Lightning. President Trump hosted a dinner for Republican lawmakers on Friday at the White House. Wait, that's the new Rose Garden? It looks like they just got a patio seating at Macaroni Grill.
And then came this week, the D.C. event, which was pretty clear. Then came the Yankees game on September 11th. And again, a mixed response rang out, a far cry from, what we're accustomed to seeing and hearing when, say, other presidents venture out into public or sporting events.
Welcome to a very special guest, former President
The thing is, what these moments show is that no matter how much, physical separation and media control are deployed, crowd sentiment makes itself felt, akin to how he's perceived in the polls. A recent Reuters Ipsos survey puts Trump's approval at just 42%, with 56% disapproving, especially weak on issues like the economy, cost of living, and the Epstein files, which, he can't seem to escape. Another Gallup poll showed him around 40% approval in August, with similar numbers when asked about his handling of foreign policy and the economy, with discontent among independent voters especially steep.
I do see something of a pattern. Sometimes we lose the forest for the trees, but I want to look at the forest, and it is one ugly duckling forest that we're looking at for Donald Trump. Look at this. Negative net approval rating for some. We talk about one poll, the CBS News poll. We talk about another poll, the NBC News poll. Nuh-uh. Look at the aggregate polls and look how long Donald Trump's net approval rating has been negative. It has been every day since March 12th in the average of polls. We're talking about 181 days in a row in which Donald Trump has been underwater swimming with the fishes. There is no good data for Donald Trump when looking at the aggregate and looking overall. He has been negative for a very long period of time, the vast majority of his second presidency.
What about the issues?
Okay, what about the issues? You see this here, right? Is there any shining light? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Well, look at the issues. Look at this. These are all the key issues. Donald Trump is underwater on all of them. Trade, obviously, tariffs have been a big thing at the bottom of your list, minus 17 points. The economy, which was the reason he was elected to a second term to fix the economy, way underwater at minus 14 points. Foreign policy, minus 12. And then I think, Mr. John Berman, the key two issues at the top, because these have been Donald Trump's strongest issues, crime and immigration. But get this. He is now underwater on both of these issues, if barely, but he's underwater on crime at -2, immigration at -3. On all the key issues, he is again swimming with the fishes. Consistency across the board.
So while broadcast directives on the likes of Fox may mute sound for television, they can't stop the videos from people who are actually there in person. And what does it say about the popularity of a person and how they perceive the American public where such measures are needed in the first place? All of which just reinforces the broader narrative, right? That significant swaths of Americans aren't buying into this presidency. Events meant to look like celebrations often turn into silent or loud symbolic protests. Each public boo is a message, and it's indicative of how Trump not only is perceived by the American people, but how those who align with Trump are also perceived. I mean, just look at how GOP reps are being received at their own town halls across the country. The message is clear. They don't approve.
A topic that's been very, very interesting to a lot of people has to do with Medicaid/Medi-Cal here in California. And so the work done in the big bill was to try and focus that. In those reforms, guess what? Unlike what you hear on the news, unlike what you hear from Chuck Schumer and the gang, it doesn't have a single dollar for people who qualify under Medicaid.
These are the other important parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next slide, please.
They're yelling tax the rich there. Not sure if you could hear, although I know Republican Congressman Mike Flood of Nebraska could hear.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.